They make sacrifices in my name. I am Kukulkan.
So, this video is a good build to use against bots, but if you want to go into a bot match and just completely dominate them, these are some good builds that you can use. If you're like me and you don't like doing PvP, then you like to just have fun with the bots. I just started off with the level 1 of an item and took a whole bunch of stuff that will allow me to regenerate mana so that I can really push the middle lane hard for the first few minutes without having to go back. I'll be fighting against Freya this time. The item I'm starting off with for this build is the Book of Thoth. I want to get it equipped first so I can get the stacks. So you gain 10 mana per stack and receive 5 stacks for a god kill, 1 stack for a minion kill. Maxes out at 75 stacks. And 3% of your mana is converted to magical power. At 75 stacks it evolves, gaining an extra 2%.
Storm strikes.
Once it's fully equipped, it gives you 80 magical power. And then you get, depending on how high your mana is, a decent amount more. Plus, Kukulkan's passive does pretty much does the same thing. Increases magical power by 5% of maximum mana.
Your left tower is under attack.
Storm strikes.
She got away that time, but she will next time. This
An
build
ally
is
has been slain.
pretty simple. It's basically just pure power. There's a few other benefits to the items, but the main reason for choosing the items that I'm going to choose is just the increase in power that they give.
Slow down.
That Whirlwind will pretty much be able to kill by itself when the build is complete.
Has been slain. Your right tower is under attack. Your team has destroyed the middle tower. Killing spree.
Enticing.
I know the video's not very entertaining so far. It'll get better as I
An
become
enemy
more powerful.
has been slain.
You can see already the Whirlwind is doing a lot of damage.
Slow down.
And I only have one item equipped out of 6, so... Got 22 stacks on the buff so far. You can see the little number in the bottom left corner there, 53. That's how much power I'm getting from Kukulkan's passive currently.
Slow down. Storm strikes down.
Like I said at the start, these are just... If you're like me and you don't like doing PvP, you like to just have fun with the bots, just go up against them and completely destroy them, then that's what these builds are for. This build is pretty effective in PvP if you want to try it, just because Kukulkan does do a crazy amount of damage, but a lot of the other builds are very ineffective in PvP because you just end up dying too quickly. This one though, as long as you're cautious, you place your abilities
You
right,
have just
you can use
sealed
this
your
in
doom.
PvP and you'll get a lot of kills. The last PvP conquest I did with Kukulkan, using this build, I got 27 kills, so it is effective. Alright, go and get a second item. I've got 67 stacks on the top now. Getting 81 power from my passive. And the next thing I'm going to get
An ally has been
is
slain.
Chronos
Nowhere
Pendant
safe now.
to reduce cooldowns. It reduces cooldown by 20%, and every 10 seconds it activates, subtracting 1 second from
Your right
all
tower
of your
is under
abilities
attack.
currently on cooldown. It also gives 90 magical power.
Your right tower has been destroyed.
Oh, I can equip. Go back to the fountain for just a moment.
Perfection.
There we go. I've got 2 full items now. The next item I'll be going for will be Soul Reaver.
An ally has been slain.
Go kill Freya again and get some more stacks onto the Book of Thoth.
Unstoppable.
I know it's just against
Your
bots,
left
but
tower is under
still,
attack.
you can see already how quickly you're gonna be able to kill late game. If you just like having those bots matches for your 40, 50 kills. And I do know, like I said before, it is pretty easy to come up with builds to use against bots. These are just if you want to try them. You can really dominate with these builds.
An enemy has been slain.
Not even
have
death
slain
can
an
save
enemy.
you from me.
If anybody's wondering why I don't like PvP, I'm not a
Slain an enemy. Immortal!
Alright, should have enough to equip at least most of a third item. Yeah, we'll go for Soul Reaver. Soul Reaver is nice because it gives you 300 mana, which increases the power you get from Book of Thoth and Kukulkan's passive. It also gives you 130 power by itself. And the item's passive is your abilities deal an additional 2% of the target's maximum
Your
health
left tower is under
as
attack.
magical damage. And if the target has
left
over
tower
2,000
has been
health, your
destroyed.
ability bonus damage scales up. The effect reaches a maximum of 8% maximum health at 2,750 health.
Nowhere
An
is
ally has been
safe.
So it's
slain.
just a good way to add another large chunk of damage to the abilities, so you can kill really quickly. I'm gonna grab Heavenly Wings,
Your left tower
just
is
so I
under
can
attack.
move faster once in a while. After I get Soul Reaver equipped, the next item will be
Your
something
middle
with
tower
movement
is
speed
under
on it.
attack.
And I know there is other items I could equip that would give me more power, but for the purpose of this build, I'll have plenty of power at the end. You can see in the bottom left there, I'm getting 101 power from Kukulkan's passive already. And that'll be the same from the Book of Thoth, so that's an extra 202 magical power from the two passives.
Storm down.
And the damage of my first ability slows them by 50% and does 240 plus 327.75 damage. The Whirlwind lasts for 4 seconds, or the Tornado lifetime is 4 seconds.
An enemy
It does
has
a
been
maximum of
slain.
12 ticks of damage. It does 50 plus 65.55 damage per tick. And we're still only just under halfway through the build, so it's going to get a lot stronger. And the ultimate is doing 600 plus 524 already, which is pretty high. Oh, she's going to run away.
An ally has been slain.
You do have to be cautious not to let your health get too low, because you can't run away from them yet if you're following this build. But you can kill them really quickly, so if they get your health down halfway and you're just waiting for cooldowns or something, it's not a big deal, because as soon as you hit them with abilities, they're going to try and run. Given that Kukulkan has an ability that does increase his movement speed, and my cooldown reduction is pretty high, I might forego the boots that I was going to equip for the movement speed to give additional power and just see how much faster I can kill.
You have just sealed your doom.
You can see there that it's not an issue. Got 15 kills so far.
Your left tower is under attack.
She's gonna run until she gets to minions. Turn around and die.
Slain an enemy.
Go equip the rest of Soul Reaver and start another item.
Perfection.
I'm going to go for I don't know how to pronounce that, the Rod of something. It gives 150 magical power, and basic attacks and abilities gain 25% additional magic power against targets below 50% health. Getting 116 power from my passive now, and the Book of Thoth is giving me the same 5% increase, so that's a lot of extra power. Let's see how low I can bring her health just with the ultimate. Pretty low.
Slow down.
Whirlwind is doing 98 damage a tick now, and it does... that's not what I meant to do. It does damage every 0.5 seconds for 2.5 seconds, and refreshes if they stay in it. So, yeah, that's a lot of damage. Doing 98 damage every half second.
Your team has destroyed a right enemy tower.
It's 50 plus 88.33, which is higher than 98, but because of her damage resistances, she takes a little less. If I was to go use that on Ymir, he'd take even less because he's a Guardian. And being a bot, he will be going for an actual Guardian build, so he'll have some high resistances. Internet connection quality is currently not sufficient to broadcast. That's not good. Hopefully it
Your
doesn't
left
stop.
tower is under attack.
I can be hypnotized.
Oh, there's Thor. Tornado in there, take him out. Get rid of some more minions.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Over here for a second. Oh, Freya's about to destroy my middle tower.
Your left tower is under attack.
Don't want this to end too quickly. We want to get to the full build first.
Your team has destroyed a
Equip the
right
rest of
enemy
this
tower.
to get the
Nowhere is
additional power.
safe now.
Next item will be the Spear of
Your middle
Desolation,
tower
which
is
gives
under
100
attack.
magical power, 15 magical penetration, and 10% cooldown reduction. And if you receive a kill or assist on an enemy god, all your cooldowns are reduced by 1 second. So you're going to be able to use your
An enemy
abilities
has been slain.
quite often.
An ally has been slain. Your middle tower is under attack.
Life is so
anytime that your bots in the left lane are against Medusa, unless you are in the left lane, you're gonna have to help them, because Medusa can kill them.
Save your from me.
Pretty confident there.
Storm strikes.
We're doing PvP, you wouldn't want to be rapidly changing lanes like this and taking kills from your teammates, but this is just a boss match, so it really doesn't matter. As you can see, my ultimate did over 1400 damage there. That's the kind of numbers that we want. We want to be able to kill
I can be
effortlessly. That's another thing that the Cloak of Meditation is useful for. Not only does it regenerate mana, but it also gives you a pretty big chunk of health. Quite get the Spear of Desolation yet, but I can get the first 2 levels of the item. Go to the jungle and kill the camp, come back and get the rest of it. Might as well get the damage camp and then head to the left lane, get rid of Ymir. Unless Ares can push him back. Not likely since Medusa's there too.
Storm strikes.
Takes care of Medusa.
You have just sealed your doom.
Now we'll go get the rest of the Spear of Desolation equipped.
Nowhere is safe.
I was going to
now.
equip Shoes of the Magi, but instead I'm going to get Bancroft's Talon, which is 100 magical power, 15% magical lifesteal, and 150 mana. And you gain additional magical power and lifesteal scaled from missing health, which caps out at 100 power and 20% lifesteal at 25% health. And the reason I'm going with this talisman instead of the boots is because with the high cooldown that I have, I can just use my ability to move faster when I need to. And that item, Bancroft's Talisman, gives more power than the boots, and it gives mana, which equals more power thanks to Kukulkan's passive and Kukulkan's passive. Plus having magical lifesteal will help. If your health starts to get low, you can just use an ability and heal up a whole bunch.
Slow down.
I might not be able to catch up to her in time. She's moving really fast. Jeez. Nope, she's gone. Left lane is right lane rather. It's getting pushed back. Well, they've got them on the run now. See if I can head them off. Well, of course they'll be able to. Quite a ways out now.
An ally has been slain.
Oh, no you don't.
Slow down.
Slain an enemy. It is not double kill.
Right, Reyes. Yep, right back in the middle. Go hit her with the ultimate, see how much damage it does. I'm gonna come out in front of her so she doesn't just sidestep it. About here should do. 1348 makes her run away. Let her walk into that and take care of her.
I can be hypnotized.
Slain an enemy.
Alright, start equipping the Talon.
Perfection.
Getting 128 additional power from my passive and from the Book of Thoth now. See if I can manage to do this math without screwing it up. 128 plus 128, 248 plus 8, 256 additional magical power from the 2 passives. That's a pretty significant amount. Once I get the Talon equipped, I'll bring up my stats menu and see how much power I have.
You have slain an enemy.
Okay, so if she attacked me right there, she probably would have killed me and turned around.
Double kill.
The storm strikes.
Right, the rest of the Talon, or the Talon equipped. Equip the rest of
Nowhere
that.
is
And
safe
see,
now.
I have current magical power, but it does cap out at 900. So I have the maximum amount of magical power that I can have, which I think is a good thing. So you could modify this build, choose something for more of a utility purpose instead of power, so that you have just the maximum amount of power instead of having over 100
You
more.
have just sealed your doom.
But as you can see, you will be able to kill every bot effortlessly. The only one you'll have trouble with using abilities with Kukulkan is if you are against change, because she has an ability where she can just be immune to an attack for a period. If she stays in the whirlwind long enough, she'll start taking damage, but in a group fight, she can use that to really cause an issue. Kill both of them.
Slow down.
My ultimate now does 800 plus 1216.38
An ally
damage.
has been
The
slain.
whirlwind is doing 50 plus 136.73, and that's every 0.5 seconds for pretty much as long as they stay in it. And which is the ability that slows them by 50%, is doing 240 plus 683.63. So the effects of this build versus bots is pretty obvious. You'll be able to kill them like nothing. It'll just be effortless. Like I said, this build can be effective in PvP, but it does depend on how
I can be hypnotized.
your enemies build. If they stack high magic resistance, you'll still be able to be killing pretty quickly because of how high the damage is, but you have to be extremely cautious and you really have to know how to place your abilities, because if someone gets close to you, they're going to kill you extremely quickly.
Your left tower is under attack. Your left tower.
And people are pretty good at dodging Kukulkan's ultimate, but like Medusa just did right there, I think she just got lucky though. If you can come up behind them and place it, or catch them with it while they're trying to run away,
Rampage.
I think you can see there, Ymir is a Guardian, and being a bot, he will be doing a Guardian build, and he dies pretty quickly. He still takes a large amount of damage because we have the maximum amount of power increase that we can have. is a hard build to start in PvP. You have to be very careful and opportunistic to get kills early on in PvP without just dying, but if you can pull it off, then you can definitely get the kills. Your main source of killing in PvP will be that whirlwind, just placing it and letting it go. I usually save this damage increase and the Zephyr for when they try to run away. Just use the, or not damage increase, sorry, movement speed increase. Use it to come up behind them quickly, hit them with the Zephyr to slow them down, and then just finish them off with basic attacks. Unless your whirlwind is cooled down already, then put another one on top of them and let it finish them off.
You have just sealed
Almost 1,000 damage to him just with the Zephyr. That'll kill him. He's doing 110 damage every 0.5 seconds. And... oh, I missed. Jeez, I'm doing terrible right now.
My path ends.
I'm fully equipped and I have 5,000 gold, so... I'm gonna kill Freya here and then I'm gonna go equip some... Actually, no, there's no point in that. I was going to go buy some potions that increase magical power to increase damage, but of course we're at the maximum already, so aside from getting the damage buff, there's no way to increase damage further other than the fire giant, but you will not be able to kill the fire giant by yourself with this build. He'll kill you before you kill him. What I can do though is grab
but surely.
an elixir of defense to make it harder for enemies to kill me for the next, I believe, 5 minutes. We're at full build now. You can take your time if you want. One of the phoenixes is down already. You could go up that lane and just sit outside of their fountain and kill them as they spawn just to see how many kills you can get. Or you can just push now. You'll kill the phoenixes very easily, and the titan will die very quickly once you start attacking. And there'll be nothing the bots can do to stop you, because you could kill every single one of them in about 3 seconds.
An ally has been slain. You have slain an enemy.
The storm strikes.
Here comes Thor. He gets caught in that.
I can hypnotize him.
There's the minions. 140 damage a hit to a phoenix. That's pretty good for a mage, I think.
Your left phoenix is under attack.
It could certainly be higher if I had the damage buff and the fire
Your
giant,
team has
but
destroyed a middle enemy phoenix.
I'm not going to worry about that. We're about to lose our left phoenix, it looks like, so I'm going to try and stop that from happening. I'll help Ares and, who's with him here? Chiron. I'll help them push this lane. But you can see Ymir took 715 from the ultimate, where, say, Thor, for example, took almost 2,000 damage. So it still does a lot, but if someone is building magical defense, it'll take a little bit more to kill them. The only upside to that is if someone is going for a build that has really high magical defense, they won't be doing a lot of damage. But if they're fighting as a team or with just one other person, they could just be in your face causing problems while the other person actually gets the kill. You don't have to worry about that in bots though, as I'm sure you're seeing. You can effortlessly kill them.
An ally has been slain.
Freya's near the middle phoenix, but it's not an issue if she destroys it. I could go to their titan right now and end this match, but I want to see there how quickly Medusa killed him. I know the tower helped her, but still.
Your middle Phoenix is under attack.
Down. You have just sealed your doom. Feel my
Yeah, you can see he's got some pretty high defense right now. And
storm strikes.
just take this out.
The sweet smell of
Your team has destroyed a left enemy Phoenix.
Head back. Got another almost 6,000 gold, so what the heck? Buy another
I
one of
am
these just for the
starving.
just because. Get rid of Freya, grab a damage buff out of the jungle, and we'll go end this. She's dodging everything. Get out of here. Ooh, that almost got her. She's done for if she steps into that.
Down.
168 damage a tick. Take out the enemy titan. 47 kills, not the most I've ever had. With Fenrir, Thanatos, and once with Kublai Khan.
Storm strikes.
Going a little slower through the game, I was able to get 60 kills. Which is certainly not the most anyone's ever got, but it's the most I've got.
Double kill. Triple kill.
And that's the end.
Your team has destroyed a
50
middle
kills
enemy
because I got a
Phoenix.
triple kill as I was killing the Titan. Well, I think that's going to be all for now. I'm going to end this stream. I will hopefully do another one tomorrow with a build for maybe Odin.